Hey guys, back again. See if I can get this thing to focus. There we go. I am doing some more work on a 2013 Ford Edge. We're going to check, it's all-wheel drive. So they have the PTU unit that's right at the back of the transmission, known to leak. This one doesn't appear to be leaking, but always want to check and make sure you got fluid in it. They say it's a non-serviceable unit. There is a plug on the side. If you really need to take fluid out, there are ways you can suction fluid out of them. I've got to get into this one to see what we're dealing with. Hopefully there's some fluid in it. We don't have to worry about it. We're also going to check the rear differential. So right now I have the vehicle up on ramps. I don't like using jack stands, especially on uneven surfaces. Tend to make me a little bit nervous. So I just bought 4 ramps, and you can get the vehicle up on the ramps if you don't feel safe with that. There again, don't do that. Don't use jack stands if you don't feel safe. If you don't want to do any of this stuff, if you don't feel comfortable doing any of this stuff, I would suggest having somebody that knows what they're doing do it. But I'll flip around here and show you what I'm talking about. So basically, I just bought these heavy-duty plastic ramps. I don't remember where I got them at, but one on each wheel, and the whole vehicle is raised up off the ground. That way you can get underneath there. So we'll go ahead and crawl underneath there and take a look at what we're dealing with. Alright guys, it's kind of hard to get up in here, but see if I can get my finger on that plug. Oh, I can get this up in here a little higher. There's a plug right there. You can see it. Basically, you take a ratchet and put that in there. Right here. Hard to do. Let me get the ratchet in there, and then I'll get the camera back up here. Alright, so I got the ratchet in there. Got the plug loose. I'm going to go ahead and start spinning that out of there. We'll see if there's any fluid that comes out. Yeah, it looks like there isn't. So, we'll have to get something to probe down in there a little bit and see what we're looking for. Alright guys, so in order to get this fluid up in there, it is down just a little bit. There is fluid in there though. Basically you're going to need like a pump for a lower unit for a boat motor, or some type of a pump with a hose on it that you can basically get the hose up in there, because you're not going to be able to get the bottle all the way up there to pour it. So I just use the Motorcraft 75-140 weight differential fluid. They call it rear axle fluid, but this stuff will work just fine. Get that down in the bottle. Sometimes this cap screws on, sometimes it doesn't. I think the stem is maybe just a little too long. And then where we're trying to get that to there again is buried up in between. It's on the back side of the engine, so it's kind of buried all the way up in there. So it's going to be kind of hard to hold the camera and do all this. So I'm going to try to fill that, and then I'll come back on camera. All right, guys, didn't take much fluid to get that full again. The bad part about where this is if you're looking here, you can see all the exhaust system. So all this is exhaust. That's your crossover. What ends up happening is, if I can get my light in the right area here, the seal right here, you can kind of see that the seal where that shaft comes out, the drive shaft comes out, that seal will start to leak, and then you'll lose your fluid. There again, this one doesn't look like it's leaking. I don't see any leaks anywhere else. But because it's right by the exhaust and it gets hot right behind the engine, transmission, that fluid has a tendency to get kind of burnt in there. So when I was pumping that, I noticed some of the fluid coming out. You can kind of look up here and see there's your It's kind of hard to see it actually. I don't know. Maybe here I can shine the light. But right in here, right there, I don't know if you can see it, but the shaft comes out to go over for your right wheel, and then your unit, your PTU unit, is back here. This light's not really helping, but anyway, these units are known to fail because of the exhaust system there and all your other exhaust components. They get hot, so you always want to make sure that you're checking them because these units, last I checked, were around $900, and it's a big deal to replace them. So if you can keep fluid in them and prolong the life of them, you'll save yourself some money. And like I said, it's not that hard to get in there and do it. You just got to buy a couple of small tools, and it'll get you where you need to go. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to check the rear diff fluid so that while the car is up in the air like this. So we'll switch back there and we'll get going on checking that. Okay, back here at the rear diff, you can see right there where I'm shining that light, there's a plug. That takes a 8mm hex key. It's going to look like just an Allen wrench, I call it. That's a brand, but it's a hex key is what the tool is. Loosen that up, and this one might have enough fluid in it to where it's going to run out. So just be careful taking the plug out. And there is some fluid there, but not much. So I'm going to set the camera down, get this adjusted so we can kind of see what we're doing here. Pipe's right in the way. Let's try this. It's kind of difficult working underneath here. Let's see. Everybody's falling over. Right here. See that plug? So I'll just take a paper towel, clean off the junk that's on the magnet. Kind of see it here. Just kind of wiping that. Sometimes you get a little bit of metal shavings on the magnet. It's not uncommon. You don't want a lot, but if you have a little bit, it's kind of that's what it's there for, is to catch that metal that would be floating around in the oil. And same process again. We'll take that pump and the hose in the pump. See if we can do this without getting oil everywhere. So that just goes up in there like that. And then I'll pump and see when we have oil start to come out. And there we have oil coming out. So I'm going to move the camera back. Hello. Try not to make such a mess here. Get the plug. Put it back in. And that's in. And just take some paper towel and clean up the oil that's dripped on the cardboard here. And the oil that's dripping off of that differential. Just clean that up good. Once that's clean, then you can grab that wrench and tighten that back up. Same thing with this. These units are a little bit pricey, so if you can take 10 minutes, get the car up on jacks and just check them, make sure they're not running dry, because that little bit of oil that you got to put in there doesn't cost anything hardly, you know, and to replace something like this, it gets pretty pricey. You don't have to go crazy tightening this, just get it to where it's snug. You know, you'll feel the resistance on it. It doesn't have to be superhuman strength tightened. And that's it. So we checked the PTU unit, we checked the rear diff. I'm going to change the oil in this, but there's probably a ton of videos on oil changing on this car. But it's pretty simple. Just do a little bit of maintenance. While you're under the vehicle, you can also check all your other stuff out, make sure nothing's looking like it's loose or hanging or anything like that. And pretty straightforward. So flip around here. Thanks for watching, guys. Get a lot of people watching the videos. We are seeing a little more traffic, but we don't get the likes and subscribes. So if you could subscribe, that helps us out. If you could leave a comment, that helps us out as well. So we appreciate you watching, and looking forward to another video. Thanks.